Well, you made it here today, and honestly, it might be the best decision you make today. So let's go ahead and get started talking about the new Netflix docu-series, American Murder, Gaby Petito. This was a docu-series that I was not familiar even coming out. I am somebody that isn't really big on true crime podcasts or true crime series, but there will be some moments here and there where I will get somewhat invested in something that happens. And this was the first time in almost 15 years or 10 years that I was really invested in something tragic that happened, and I just wanted to get a lot of the information and see what was actually going on behind the scenes. And that really happened with this Gabby Petito story. This was a story that just absolutely broke me. There were some segments here and there that I did catch, like they did one on 60 Minutes that I watched. But other than that, I wasn't really fully invested for the past 3, almost 4 years. So now that this docu-series has come out, I was really interested to see what they were going to do. And I wasn't sure on which route they were going to be taking with this docu-series, whether they were going to mix it up a little bit, relaying old information for people that maybe weren't really caught up with everything that was going on, and maybe hopefully be able to mix in some new things for people that had already known everything, that had been digging through information through videos, TikToks, all that, but also relaying new information for everybody that was caught up. And what I really enjoyed about this docuseries was how this docuseries was set up, because it is a 3 episode docuseries. And so you got the first episode that is kind of more of getting to know Gabby, getting to know her friends and her families and how they talk about her. You can definitely feel the love that they had for her. They cherish her with all of their hearts. And the one thing that was new information to me was I didn't know that Gabby's parents were split up. I thought they were together. And so seeing them talk about how they broke up because they weren't really working together, or they weren't really well for each other at that time. And so they just started co-parenting so that Gabby would still be able to see her dad and her mom. That is something that I really love seeing, because you don't see it often. You do see it here and there, but you don't see often when two parents start co-parenting and the kids have a really nice relationship with their stepdad and stepmom. And so seeing how both step-parents really cared about Gabby and really wanted the best for her, I really enjoy that. We get to see a little bit of one of her friends that she met through a dating app. Seeing her talk about Gabby and all the adventures that they would go on was really something that really struck a chord with me. And then you also have another one that was mostly friends with Brian, but felt like she was forced to like Gabby because Gabby was with Brian. And so you kind of get a little bit more information about who Gabby was, her relationship with her parents and her friends. I really like how that first episode was constructed, but the way this show started, it just absolutely broke me, because the one thing that I really hated about this whole situation was the body cam footage that was released from police here in Moab, Utah. The way that this docu-series started off, I just started immediate bawling, because I just don't like seeing that whole situation, and we're going to be getting into that as we move forward. But then we go into the second episode where we get to see Gabby's ex talk about her. The thing that I really loved about that episode was that her ex was not really talking about her in a mean way. You can definitely tell that he still really cared about her, and so it didn't seem like they kept in touch all too much, but to me it didn't seem like they were all that in touch until this whole situation started to happen. And so seeing him talk about her, that just made me really happy to see. It was really touching. And the thing about this docu-series is that the first episode to me was a little bit more heavier. There were some things in that first episode that made me want to take a step back and take breaks with the show, because this is a heavy show. This is a docu-series that is tragic and really hard to watch, especially if you are somebody like me that isn't really all that into like the true crime stuff. The reason why I'm not really into that stuff is because I don't like hearing about that stories. There are stories like that that really get engraved in my brain, and I'll have images and just imagine the things that they were going through and probably how scared they were. That's why I really don't like looking into true crime podcasts or shows. The one thing that I really loved about this second episode is that we got to see a little bit more of the behind the scenes footage of Gabby doing her YouTube channel, seeing how she was going to get through it all. And that is something that really started to grind on my gears a little bit, because you started to see a little bit more of the behind the scenes, seeing how everything was when the cameras weren't rolling. And it was just really hard to see just looking at that footage. And then once we get later into the episode, we get to see more of the body cam footage. We get to see how the police handled that situation. And that is a situation that could have easily been avoided. This whole situation could have easily have been avoided if better proper procedures were handled. Then we get into the third episode, and that is when shit really starts to hit the fan with me. Third episode is more of the manhunt for Brian Laundrie and seeing how everything transpired, how her parents were reacting when they found out about the news. Then we get to see some pictures of Gabby with a bruised face, and this whole thing is just something that really strikes a chord to me. There were a lot of heartbreaking revelations that were made. There were a lot of heartbreaking statements from her parents that absolutely just broke me, and I really wish that this was a situation that could have been easily avoided and been easily fixed. Just seeing the old footage that they showed in the docu-series just absolutely broke me, because she looked like a free spirit. She looked like somebody that just loved living life and wanted to see the world, except she was in this really bad situation. And I do wish that this situation could have been avoided. This is a really hard to watch docu-series, especially if you are somebody that has been invested in everything. If you've been in this situation, or if you have kids and hope that they never have to deal with this situation, this is something that should have been avoided. The fact that we don't have justice for her just yet, the fact that Brian's parents are still out there and they haven't been jailed is unacceptable. As far as this docuseries goes, it opened up new theories for people that are really invested in the situation, and it brought up old theories from 4 years ago, are still convinced that it's true. This is a docuseries that I think is worth a watch, but it is a really hard docuseries to watch. It gets you emotional from beginning to end. It's really hard to watch. There are things that happen that I wish didn't happen. Yeah, this is definitely hard to watch, but it's definitely worth a look if you are able to check it out. But just be warned, it is a heavy docuseries. You might want to take breaks in between episodes, because you might want to just get yourself in a better mindset. And I think that is a better way to watch a show if you are somebody like me that can't handle this type of true crime podcast or true crime shows. But those are my thoughts on the new docuseries. Let me know down in the comments if you have checked it out. Do you have new theories? Do you have old theories? Let me know down in the comments. I would really love to hear all about them. And until next time, thank you for watching.